What is up, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? Good to see you all. Let's see. Oops. What's up, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? Jeremy, my man. Good to see you. Everybody, we're gonna get started here in just a second. We are gonna come out of the gates just flying fast. So hopefully you are focused, shut down the email, shut down Slack. Let's get ready to talk about some really, really cool stuff. Does everybody have their book yet? If not, let's make sure that you're getting your copy. We're gonna talk about that a little bit today. And really what you're gonna get is you're gonna get the high level overview today. You're gonna get some of the sneak peeks of what's inside. And we are shipping out about 500 copies this week, and we just ordered another 750. So we want to send you guys your copy if you're in the US, and if you're outside of the US, we'll work with you on that as well. We've got the audio book coming out here very, very soon. We've got the digital copies coming alive here in 2 weeks that we are so excited to get this book into the hands of thousands of business owners all across the globe to help show you, hey, there's a better, simpler way to scale. But I would love to hear from you guys. Where are you calling in from? Because we do have people I know in several different countries here. So go ahead and type in the chat, and we're not going to waste time. We're going to get right into it here in about 30 seconds. Axel, I know you, Axel. What's up, my friend? Austin, Texas, let's go. It's a beautiful spot, beautiful day here in Austin, Texas today. We got Romania, my man, South Carolina, Albania, let's go. Phoenix, what's up, John? We got Missouri. Haven't been to St. Charles there, Jenny. LA, yes. And Bosnia, oh yeah. Awesome. So we've got a lot of different countries. Super exciting to hear. And like I said, guys, we really protect your time. So I'm going to be going through this really, really fast. And as always, if you guys have been on live training with us, these are most valuable if you ask questions. We've got some other people from the 2X team here. We've got my man, our head of sales and marketing, Pat Bennett here. That Pat, if there is something in the chat, let's go ahead and stop me. Let's break it down and let's go into the shifts that you need to make to ultimately break through to the next level. Specifically, a lot of you guys are at 6 figures right now. We're gonna show you the path that we've absolutely validated over and over again to break through to multiple millions. And there's 3 things that you need to know. All right, you need to know that I have never yet in my life met a multi-6-figure business owner who wasn't a few tweaks away from 7 figures. I have never met somebody who wasn't just a couple shifts, and we're gonna talk about those shifts here today. Also, like we always talk about, if you're familiar with our brand, a lot of you are, we have shown that there's a very important and strategic order to things. So not only are we going to talk about the shifts, we're going to talk about the order of those shifts and how they lead up one on top of the next. And at the end of the day, it's all a simple math equation. And that's what we're going to ultimately bring together full circle so that you can see your own math equation for that. So your goal, you are in the right spot if you are here to learn how to have a thriving multi-7-figure business that doesn't own you. One that you are free from the weeds of, one that you are in your ideal situation with, one that you're just absolutely loving, that's giving you that dream lifestyle. If you want a multi-7-figure business that isn't reliant on you and your time and just stressing you out, well, you are in the right spot because we're going to show you exactly that. Okay. But the challenge is like, few ever get there. In fact, only 4% ever reach that magic $1 million mark, let alone the ones that actually achieve it with control and with their time freedom and with being free from the weeds. And we're going to show you not only how to be in that top 4%, we're going to show you how to be in that top 1%. So this is a small portion of individuals. So I credit you guys for taking time out of your busy day. I know you got a lot to do. I know there's a lot of things that you could be doing, but you're here to learn, and we are going to show you the path. And this book is going to go much deeper and to show you the path. It's updated, expanded. It is much more in depth with a lot more visuals, a lot more examples, and really breaking down the difference between maybe what's been holding you back and the positive side, the shifts to make. So if you haven't yet already submitted your address to us, we want to make sure to do that. We want to send you a free copy. And everybody here, you're going to get that free copy as well. So go to 2x.co/waitlist. Tisa or Pat, if you guys could go ahead and put that link, use the HTTPS because that way the people can click on the link. Go ahead and put your address in. We'd love to send you out a copy. And again, if you're international, we'll work with you to make sure that you've got the audio, you've got some of the digital copies and everything as well. Okay. So we're going to go through the highlights here today of what you need to know. So I want you to take notes, but because I'm going to show you what got you to this level that you're at. Some of you are at 6 figures. Some of you are already even at 7 figures. Wherever you're at, as we always know, there's another level to get to. So what got you here won't get you there. So let's talk about the shifts that you need to make. And what we're going to do is break down a 6-figure hustle versus 7-figure machine. So this contrast is really important because we want to understand, hey, crap, this is what I've been doing in the past. And we want to break through from that. We want to see what the positive side is as well. A lot of these you're probably already representing, but we want to see which ones of these 7 are holding you back, that are costing you so much time, that are costing you so much money, that are costing you so much impact, that are costing you from holding back from that dream that you know is possible. All right, well, let's talk about how to make that happen. So we're going to go through some real life stories and examples of how people have, blown away their business to multiple millions by doing so with a consistent, predictable machine. So some of those stories I'll break down, and I want you to take notes. So if you've got your notebook out, you can make something like this. You can just turn your note sideways like this and make this. We're going to go through the 7 shifts. I want you to analyze on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you doing on each one of these areas? What is one action that you can take? And any other notes that pop up as I go through some of the examples and differences between, again, good or bad and great. If you can do this, then again, you're going to be in a good spot to see, hey, there's another level of success available to you, and you'll be able to get there. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And again, Pat, stop me if there's anything that I need to slow down on, because I talk a mile a minute when I'm excited about this stuff. But let's go ahead and get started here into shift number 1. Everything begins with your mindset. So there's a story of this very ambitious entrepreneur. He goes in and he sits down in the office of the guru. And the guru says, you know what, son or daughter? He says, you know what? You are only 6 inches away from success. You've got all the talent. You've got all the work ethic. You've got the potential. You're even in the right market. You're just 6 inches away from everything that you want. And those 6 inches are right here. So everything begins with the mind. I always thought about that, and I always thought just how close we are, and that it begins with making that shift. And what we want to do is break through from the 6-figure hustle mentality and start to think like a 7-figure CEO. Stop doing it yourself and start thinking, how can you delegate? How can you systemize? How can you truly lead your team and lead others? And stop thinking that your team isn't good enough, and take on responsibility to say, it's my responsibility to make sure that things are so simple, so clear, and my team is so set up for success that they cannot fail, right? Just a mindset shift. So instead of thinking short term of this, like, what do I need to do today, this week to get leads or sales, or this month? Or instead of being in the clouds and saying, hey, I'm going to impact billions of lives when we're impacting 10 people, like, the hustlers are in one of those 2 camps. Your real moneymaker is in the medium term. It's like, hey, what's going to set us up 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now? What are those things that if we did right now, here today, and this week, and this month, we would be so grateful for 6 months from now? Those types of things, that's where you really want to live. Next is having a general and undefined vision to having a clear and compelling vision. Again, it all starts with your vision in mind. And this is a big differentiator, and the first major differentiator between 6 and 7 figures. And the thing is with your vision, with creating that clear and compelling vision, the more clear that you are on that, the faster that you can go. Clarity creates speed. This is one of the things that we talk about in the book. And if you look at the challenges that you face, and does anybody face challenges in their business day in and day out? I know we do. We have about 80 of them, like already this morning, and it's beautiful. But guess what? Those are just small, tiny little hurdles because our vision is so big, right? If your vision is big and clear and compelling, all the stuff that's in front of you, just push to the side. We got bigger things to go after, and that's the vision. But so many people are busy in the day-to-day grind, but aren't spending the time to really have a compelling vision. This isn't only applicable to you. Think about your team. Right? Your team needs to have their own vision of what they see as possible, and they also need to understand the company's vision. And if you can really be the lead visionary for your team, for your company, for your culture, you're going to have a lot of people that are like, yeah, get that crap out of the way. We got some big stuff to get to, right? It's all about a matter of perspective. So the first question is, do you have a 7-figure mindset and vision? Rate yourself right now, 1 to 10. How would you rate yourself on this section? All right, I'm going to keep blowing through this one by one. Let's go to the next one. Shift number 2 is the 7-figure strategy. Our favorite strategy framework that I break down in detail in the book. We've got video training to support you on this. We've got some templates in your 7-figure toolkit, and you guys are going to be the first to access that toolkit, by the way. It is our Model 1 framework. And this is saying, are you selling the right people, the right products at the right price with the right positioning in a way that can scale? Are you selling the right people, the right products, the right price, the right positioning in a way that can scale? Now, this is a mouthful, but this is a very strategic way to have a clear and targeted business that is going to get a lot of traction, that's going to be set up to scale in a big way. So there's a couple areas that I want to emphasize on this. Again, we go much deeper in our 101 program. We go much deeper on that, obviously, there. I want to start with the products. Is if you have the right product slate, where it's really clear and targeted and designed for the right people, where you're maximizing LTV, which is one of our favorite growth levers of all. If you have truly irresistible offers using our irresistible offer formula, you're going to be set up to scale. But most people are what? They're too broad. They've got too many products. They're not even sure about the profitability of those products. They're not maximizing LTV. They're selling to multiple avatars. They sure as heck don't have irresistible offers, right? So we want to break this down and simplify things and then attack it one single step at a time. One of my favorite quotes from Steve Jobs is, everything in this room, everything around you that we know of as life is created by people just like you and me. So like what I took from that is like, hey, if we break things down to the smallest individual piece, we can make something really freaking good. So like, that's what we want to do, is like take the right products and really narrow it down to say, or to ask these individual questions of how can we really maximize LTV? Do we have a truly irresistible offer? Because when we look at our business as a whole, it's overwhelming. So we've got all these frameworks and strategies to guide you step by step to attack them one by one. And these things compound on top of each other over and over again. But products is a super important one. Every single one of these I can go into in so much detail, but where it all begins is the right people. And this is where we see so many 6-figure business owners tripping up, is they're too broad in who they service. They're afraid to turn people away. They're afraid to go niche. They're afraid to go narrow, thinking that, because like when you're starting out, it's like, man, I'll take on anybody that will pay me money for our product or service, right? But over time, you realize, oh crap, that was the fastest way to low 6 figures, and taking on everybody and trying to please everybody is the slowest path to scale past multiple 6 figures, right? So we've got to get more clear, and we've got to get more targeted. And we call that your ITA, your ideal target audience. And we break down again in the book much more specifics on that. But the question that you need to consider is, the more intimate that you know and target your ideal target audience, the more successful that you'll be. This is a huge thing that you need to make a decision on. If you want to be a multi-7-figure business owner, you have to choose more clearly who you're going to serve. And most importantly, or just as important, I should say, who you're not going to serve. Like, who are you going to push away? Who are you going to, for right now, not specifically go after? Okay, so the way that we can think about it is, a 6-figure hustle has some ideal people that you're like, yes, I would love to work with them over and over again. You've got a lot of okay clients, yeah, they're okay. And you got some pain in the ass clients, some PITA clients. Well, a 7-figure business, one that's much easier. Imagine if your business was designed to just duplicate that perfect customer over and over again. What would that mean for your fulfillment? What would that mean for your prices? What would that mean for your headspace? What would that mean for your team's headspace? What would that mean for the LTV that you could have, the referrals that you could get, right? The success rate that you would have. Everything shifts by getting more clear and targeted on specifically who you can serve. All right. So if we can do that, you are going to then lead into the answers of the next questions related to Model 1, and ultimately have a multi 7-figure strategy and model set up to scale. So the question is, do right now, here today, do you have a 7-figure strategy and model set to scale? Rate yourself 1 to 10. Next is, now we've got some more clarity on where we want to go. We've got some more clarity on the strategy and model that we're going to get there. Now, what we need to do is we got to free up time. Time is the constraint to solve for. We got to fire ourselves. This is one of our favorite things to do with our private clients, is to fire them from things that they shouldn't be doing. This should be one of the favorite things that you do yourself, is to fire you. But most of us, unknowingly and unwillingly, actually design the business around ourselves. I caught myself here in multiple businesses. It was very much reliant on me telling people what to do, me making decisions, me signing stuff off, me coming up with ideas, me driving the show, yada, 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 right? That is not scalable. That will lead you to where I went, which is to burnout, right? And a flat freaking wall that you're just trying to break through, even though you're learning and investing in yourself. You can't break through if it's built around you. So we've got to fire yourself. So most businesses are built around you. What we help you do is to go from hustling and muscling with things built around you to being working on the business, to being free from the day-to-day, from being free from the day-to-day grind. And this is where we need to go. So a question is, if you went on a 2-week, no strings attached vacation, how would that go for you? Would you, be like this lady over here with, toes in the sand, not a worry in the world, just dreaming? Or would you be like this guy over here where you're trying to enjoy family time, but you're just stressed out? You're just thinking about, you're checking in on your phone and you're taking calls and you're doing things, you just can't be present, right? I've been on both sides, right? And a lot of us can probably relate with not being really able to take a time off, especially 2 weeks where we were not attached to our team at all. Imagine what would happen to your business. Now, this is another way to think about it is, again, what would the results be? Would it drop off pretty quickly? Like, are you really the business? Would it like slowly die if you just weren't there? Would it basically maintain or do okay without you? Or would it consistently be able to grow and thrive without you? This is where we want to be. And this is where you're going to be if you follow this process step by step. Like I said, this book isn't about how to take your 6-figure business to $1 million. This book and our methodology and everything that we preach is how to have a multi-million-dollar business that you are free from the weeds of, that you are in complete control of your time, energy, and effort, that you are doing what you want with the people that you want. That's what's really, truly possible. All right. And that's what you can do. All right. So one way that we want to look at and evaluate your time is looking at the value of the tasks in your business. So breaking them down into $10 an hour, $100 an hour, $1,000 an hour, and $5,000 per hour plus tasks. In the book, we kind of guide you to fill this in for your own business. In your business specifically, what are those $10 an hour tasks? Whether you're spending your time on them or not, getting clear on what those potential tasks are. And what you want to do is obviously spend your time more and more on the right-hand side. Now, the 6-figure hustler is doing it all. And if you don't have the good awareness, you can often catch yourself responding to customer service questions, to setting up some tech stuff, doing things that you can easily delegate and offload to other people. But imagine if you spent most of your time on the $1,000 hour, on the manager and most importantly the executive activities, which are the things related to, for instance, a big marketing initiative, related to creating a big asset for your business, related to hiring a key leadership role, related to implementing a sales system, related to going through the 2X program, yada yada. Like, imagine if your time was spent on things that you're going to feel 6 months from now, 12 months from now, or beyond, right? That's where you're going to really, really progress in a big way. Because as we always say, and as we know, 6 months from now, that comes here in the blink of an eye, let alone 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or anything shorter, right? So the future will come here faster than you think. You got to spend your time in the proper way because you have the time. It's just how we spend it. So we really work you through several exercises to think how you are spending your time. And 2 questions that you can consider to kind of change your perspective right now is, if you had to run and grow your business, you only had 10 hours per week, like only 10 hours, what would you do with that time? How would you spend it? Right? Really think about this. And really think about what are those couple things that you would do. And then one of my favorite questions, our head of success, our head coach here at 2X, Tom Sylvester, always talks about this question. So he talks about what would need to be true. So let's frame this question in that way. If you had to run and grow your business on only 10 hours per week, what would need to be true? Really important to start to see, oh my gosh, I need to stop doing everything myself. I need to turn my business into a machine, right? So this is how John Murphy was. John Murphy is a legend here at 2X. He's been a great client of ours for a long time. He came in and he was at 110 hours per week. 110 hours per week, people. Like, that's a lot, obviously, right? And he was at $67,000 a month in a business, doing almost everything himself, just muscling and grinding. And he thought that this was successful because he was growing and he got to a high 6-figure business that way. So like, this is what the challenge is that we face, is the things that it takes us to get to 300K or 500K per year are the exact things that we need to unlearn to go to 2 or 5 million, right? So this is the same exact case with John. as he learned to get to muscle and grind things to get there. But he was obviously just absolutely hitting the wall. So within 4 months, actually this says 6 months, within 4 months, he went to 10 hours per week in his business by implementing exactly the playbook that I'm sharing with you now. 110 hours a week to 10. He didn't know what to do with his time. He spent more time in his garden than he did in his now at this point in time 7-figure business. And at that time, he went from, in 6 months, from $67,000 per month to $503,000 per month. From 6 figures and stressed out to multi 7 figures, starting another business, and again, all doing so with the same mentality that he still has so much time that he doesn't even know what to do with it all, right? Beautiful situation to be in, right? This is how you can do it. Your time is such an important factor to break through to the next level. So do you spend your time like a true 7-figure CEO? Or is your business built around you? Really reflect on this. This is a huge opportunity for 6-figure entrepreneurs that we see left and right. Pat, I'm going to pause right here. Anything that you're seeing or hearing or that you want to really reemphasize with the first 3 shifts as we run through these?
Well, with the first 3 shifts, the importance of model 1, like I posted there in the comment, but you said in the beginning, business is going to have challenges. It's going to be hard. So set yourself up for success. There's things that you can control and some things that are a little bit out of control. You can control your model, you can control your shifts and continuously growing your business and adapting. Second thing is with time and attention, with your, the higher up the chain you go, you look at the really successful people, they're working on medium-term and long-term aspects. The trick is, are your short-term actions lined up with your medium and long-term goals? Otherwise, you will find yourself on the treadmill where you're just on this short-term stuff and the medium and the long never actually make it to you.
Yep.
So you got to make sure everything's lined up. And that's why you need to step out, get out of the day-to-day. So you can, it's amazing what spending an hour a day just thinking about it does.
Yep.
So you frame yourself, you find solutions, you work smarter by giving yourself space and time to be focused on the right things. It's not just time, it's attention as well. So don't underestimate this as a foundation. Do not underestimate this.
This is absolutely huge, Pat. So you don't get into the car until you got the keys and you know where you're going, right? But how many of us are really clear on where you're going in your business? And most importantly, in addition to that, how many of us, it may be clear in your mind, but have you communicated that to your team? If not, if your team doesn't know exactly what the destination, and oftentimes we think it's clear to them, we think that we say it a couple of times, but trust me, I shared it. I shared the 2X vision and the previous company's vision dozens and dozens of times, but yet I didn't communicate it clearly enough and in the proper way that oftentimes even my leadership team wasn't super clear on where we were going. And it was like, wow, that's a big reflection for me. So if they can't see where we're going in the medium and long term, how are they going to be able to make strategic decisions? How are they going to be able to make sure that what we are doing, as Pat said, the actions today and this week and this month, that they are aligned with that? So if we aren't communicating the vision in the proper way, what we realize is so much of the work and energy and effort that we put ourselves through could actually be avoided, and it isn't really getting us to that end state. So it's huge on the alignment piece from our actions. So I absolutely love that there. And the importance of model 1, make it easier on yourself. Those are the decisions. So being a 7-figure CEO, even though there's a proven path and process, there's important decisions that you're going to have to make, and making a stand for each one of those elements of model 1, making those decisions and committing to those. That's a hard thing to do. I know it, I get it. It's scary. We've gone through that, so much of that ourselves, and we see it day in and day out, but you have to make those decisions. And again, we give you hopefully the best support and guidance to be able to make those. So a couple of great additions there. Let's keep rolling here to shift number 4. To shift number 4 between 6 and 7 figures is how you are doing with the operational machine. All right, what we've got here is something called our machine methodology. It's a very, very proven, there's a lot more elements to it than this, but this is what's behind our one-on-one coaching program where we guide people to the next level. And the real money maker, in addition to having the proper strategy and model that's set up to scale, is your operational machine. And the number of six-figure, I wish I had a percentage to give you here because it is very high, of six-figure entrepreneurs that do not thrive in this area, that if you do, you have consistency, predictability, and ability to delegate things on down and ultimately grow to the next level of consistency and control. So this is such a big moneymaker and what we spend so much time on. And one of our key frameworks to help people do that is with the value chain. And everything that we do, and I want you to be thinking about this, is if you want that multi-seven-figure business and lifestyle and time freedom, you need to be turning your business into a machine. And what that means is having the proper strategy first and foremost. Pat nailed it. It's like the first piece is like, let's set ourselves up for success. Let's make things really strategic. Let's make them simple. Let's make them clear and targeted. If we do that for each one of these steps, that's the first step. From there, we want to turn them into a machine, having the proper numbers so that we can see what's working, what's not. We got the proper systems so that we've got things to be as efficient as possible, repeatable, and ultimately scalable, and able to delegate on to other people. And we've got the proper team that's running that. So if you have this for each one of these steps where you've got the proper strategy, numbers, systems, and team for marketing, for sales, and also for fulfillment, you've got a consistent, predictable, improving and growing cash producing machine. That's a special spot to be. This is if you actually implement this, this is a multi-million dollar slide in one slide here for you in your future as an entrepreneur. This is the moneymaker, again, of building that operational machine. So at the heart of your business machine, two pieces I want to really highlight, because I already stressed the importance of the strategy piece, are systems and numbers. This is at the heart of your business machine. And six-figure hustlers just really kind of, are too busy to focus. Austin, I don't have time to focus on systems. I don't, I'm not a numbers person, yada, yada. They start to push away from these things, whereas a seven-figure CEO, seven-figure machine really thrives and leans into these. They couldn't imagine running their business without them because the numbers give you clarity and systems make your life so much easier, right? So learn to love these if you don't already. Lean into them and trust me, you're going to feel the difference 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, let alone 6 months, 12 months later, right? So systems and numbers are at the heart of that. One of the many clients that we've had and helped shift in this perspective was a guy named Ryan Rockwell. Ryan is a beast of an entrepreneur, really strong at sales and marketing, but he was limited because he sucked at operations. He sucked at all the things that I'm talking about. And I can say this, I'm good friends with Ryan, and I say this with love and compassion, but he came into our one-on-one coaching program and he learned, oh my gosh, there's another way, leveraging the exact pieces that I'm talking about with an operational machine. So with us, he's been able to 10x his business from $31,000 per month and stuck and stressed out to over $307,000 per month in his business, and just an absolute beast of an entrepreneur to be able to take his zone of genius and with the operational machine actually leverage that. And that's what you want as an entrepreneur, is leverage. And Ryan's been able to have that. So the question is, do you have a seven-figure operational machine? This is a tough one that so many people don't really excel at. And I'm telling you, this is your moneymaker. This is your moneymaker in addition to the strategy out of all the pieces. Next, a big part, as I talked about, of that operational machine is having a great team around you. Okay, we've got some amazing squad all around the globe. It's one of the things that I'm most proud of in the world. And in the book, we break down a lot of strategies to help make sure that you have the same. So building an elite team, six-figure hustler, oftentimes thinks it's like, man, my team sucks, or they can't do it as well as me, or I just can't find anybody that's good enough, or blame it on the market or whatever. Like we just oftentimes blame. Right? And we think people that should know what we know or have our experience or do things for super or cheap or whatever it is. But instead, as I talked about earlier, let's take on that responsibility. What if it's my responsibility to set my team up for success? What if it's my responsibility to give them the proper systems and direction so that it's so easy that they can't fail? Think of McDonald's. McDonald's can hire anybody off the street because they put in the proper systems and training in place, right? And you can do the same. A six-figure hustler hopes for unicorns, whereas a seven-figure machine or seven-figure CEO leans into having systems so that they set that person up for success, using numbers as the guide to say, here's what's working, here's what's not, here's how you're doing, right? A six-figure hustler does a half-assed hiring push and kind of puts a job posting out there, does a couple things, kind of, sends it out and expects people to come to them. Whereas a seven-figure CEO says, you know what? building a world-class team, this is the most important sales and marketing that I can do, is selling for people to come in. Because the right person on your team will not only change your life, it'll change your business, and hopefully they'll be a part of your team for many years to come. So treat it in that way, with that level of importance, and you'll be set up for success. Six-figure hustler doesn't have any accountability or support. They're too busy in the day-to-day to support their team. So how do you expect your team to succeed if that's the case? Whereas a seven-figure CEO gives clear guidance, has them aligned on what their role is, what matters, how they're being measured, and holds them accountable to that using a role scorecard and other things that we talk about. And six-figure hustler trains people to do tasks, trains people to follow orders, whereas a seven-figure CEO trains them to solve problems, teaches them how to think for themselves, teaches them about systems, teaches them about, again, the same mentality that they can ultimately run and grow without the responsibility of checking in on that person. Right. So again, it all starts with the mindset shift. And that's why the book begins with that mindset, because you have to get into that frame of mind before you can go through each and every single one of the other steps to make the decisions and the strategy, to make the decisions to delegate and to let go of certain tasks, to make the decisions with the operational machine. Every single piece of these all starts with the mindset. That's, again, why the order is so important. So before you ask, if you have a seven-figure team around you, ask, have you first been a seven-figure leader of your team? Look, sometimes you're going to outgrow people. Sometimes people are not the right fit. But the first thing that we need to look at is the mirror. We need to look at ourselves, right? As the leader, as the guide, are we taking responsibility and setting them up for success first and foremost? Because if we do that with good people, like, you're going to be set up to win in a big way. Again, that's what we encourage. So the proper, typical employee progression, this is like, yeah, in general, people will improve over time, but like, let's not leave that to chance. Let's give them numbers. Let's give them support every week and month. Let's make sure that they're really, really clear on where they're going, what the goals are, what's expected of them, how they're being measured. Let's hold them accountable. And let's have like some type of cadence. We recommend monthly one-on-one feedback to make sure that they're improving. Like, imagine if your team gets substantially better every single month. Where would you be in 2 years if that's the case? Imagine if every single person on your team progresses, and that's what's possible with very simple tweaks that we're talking about here. All right. So take the responsibility, set your team up for success. That's what Carly did. I just talked to Carly last week. She's now I'm kind of jumping ahead. She started where she was doing everything in her business. She was pulled in 100 directions. She had the mentality that she was the best to do it herself. And in 2X or one-on-one coaching program, she shifted. And now she's completely free. She's like, I don't know what to do with my time. Like, there's nothing to do in the day-to-day. So she's writing a book right now. And she was doing some acting and doing some other things. But she's like completely free. And it's so funny because at the beginning, she was the exact opposite of that. As a result, guess what? Voila, in her first year with us, let alone in the future, she went from 600K to over 1.4 million. So if you want to make the shift, follow the process. Every single piece that I've talked about so far, Carly did. And now she's living her best life and doing that. So the next question is, do you have a seven-figure team around you? Are you supporting them in the proper way that you can have, again, the reality that we're talking about here? Okay. Pat, anything else to add with the last couple sections?
Just the importance of this. I know there's, like, I'm going to say this every time, how important everything is, but it's the beginning with the mindset of, so I talk to people all the time and I say, so what's your biggest pain point? And they say, oh, my team's no good. And so my follow-up question is then, so did you hire the wrong people, or are you not supporting them with the right support that they need to succeed? And so now that is a complete reversal where they're going, well, it's their fault. No, it's your fault. You hired them. This is your lolly shop. You have ultimate responsibility in everything in your business. So when you start making that shift, it starts with the decision to say, I'm going to flip the switch and take extreme ownership, read that book by Jocko, and say, no, this is on me. I need to do this. So doing that, and then slowly coming to the understanding, like, imagine sales. If you can close everyone at 80% close rate, you're still capped at one person. If you can teach people to do it and they can only do it at 60%, if you have 10 of them, it's still significantly better than you closing everyone at 80%. So you need to think bigger, and that all comes back to that mindset. You need to make a decision and shift your mindset to say, if I'm going to do this, if I'm at $1 million, what does the business look like? And is it me doing everything, or is it a team? And then start working towards that. And that links back. You'll see all the links here of then linking up your short-term actions to your medium-term to your long-term.
Yep. Love that. Love that. Great perspective there. And absolutely love that question. Again, let's take responsibility there. Cool. Next, shift number 6 is in your sales machine. All right. What we talk about in the book is so many different great levers to scale. And one of our favorites of all, one that Pat loves to lean into so much and is absolutely world-class at, is sales conversions. So if we look at your overall true sales conversions of taking people that are qualified leads for you and improving that by even a small percentage, we can see a huge increase in not only sales and revenue, but really a small increase here is also an exponential increase in your profit. So your profit usually goes up substantially more than that increase. So if we took, in this case, your sales conversions of 10% of leads to 15%, using that 5% improvement, that's a 50% revenue increase with one lever. One lever, right? And that's what's possible if you do it right. So a key difference between the 6-figure hustler is they don't have any sales system in place, whereas a 7-figure machine is using a very effective sales system. So what we talk about with the sales system is a couple different pieces to have the proper system before, during, and after the sale. All right. So in our pre-sales process, what we like to do is really make sure that we're giving the proper value, that we are nurturing people, that we are warming them up to lead into setting the sales team up for success. Again, oftentimes, and talk about this in version 1 of the book, if you guys read that, is oftentimes it becomes sales versus marketing. Like marketing is blaming sales for not closing. Sales is blaming marketing for not giving the right leads, but you're on the same team. So what we want to do from a marketing standpoint, and even before like your sales presentation, is like warm people up, make sure that they are 80% sold. And that's, again, more that we break down in a couple of different trainings that we have. And then from there, making sure that we've got an effective sales process to maximize conversions, to make sure that we're really guiding people to the next level if they're a good fit for you. If they say yes, we want to start them really fast and make sure that they're set up to be a raving fan and have all the systems for that. It's really important to make sure that the sale doesn't end like here. The sale just starts here, really, if you're like moving them to the next level. And then if they're no, or not yet, or there's follow-up, like we want a really good, effective follow-up system so that we can increase the conversions over time. So if you have a good, effective sales system and process for each one of these pieces, you're going to be set up to have great visibility on what's going on, to have good consistency, of able to hold your team accountable and get that off your plate and duplicate that and improve that over time more and more and more and more. And like I said, we're talking about some small numbers that lead to big improvements here if you can do this. So do you have a 7-figure sales system? If not, there's a big opportunity to add potentially millions into your business. So do you have a 7-figure sales machine? Okay, really, really important here, obviously, and one of our favorite levers to grow. And from here, as we've continued to follow this process step by step, is to get to shift number 7, which is driving consistent, predictable growth. Again, there's a very important and strategic methodology and proven framework to scale and to get the traction that you know is possible. And to do so, we've got to follow the right order. So the last piece and the thing that we want to get to is that exponential growth piece, is talking about marketing, is talking about new levers that you can add, is talking about additional growth channels. But this isn't where you begin. If we start to try and grow without a clear model 1, without the right vision, without the operational machine, we're just going to be setting ourselves up for major headaches, lots of frustrated people, a team that's overworked, you have business that's reliant on you, yada, yada. There's a very important order. There's this famous study done called about the marshmallow test, if some of you are familiar with that. And basically what it gets to, the difference between success and not having success, is having the ability to basically play the long-term game, having the ability to delay gratification. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Is, hey, let's go to some of the things that you may not want to work on first so that you can have everything that you want and that you know is possible. So the way that we can drive fast, consistent growth is by following the process. Everything that I've shared with you so far, every single one of those is actually a growth strategy, starting with step number 1, the first 6 steps. But then from here, what we're going to be able to do is have visibility on your numbers. Let's say that you're getting 100 leads per month in your business and you're closing 12% of those, and your average customer is worth about $2,500 to you. What that means is that you're selling about $30,000 per month in your business. But if we take a committed focus and we say, hey, we're going to put in the proper systems so that we get more consistency. We're going to remove me from it so that, we can put other people there in place. We're going to really look at, do we have the proper strategies? It's very easy to improve the marketing numbers. Again, not only the consistency, but the number, pretty easily. Same thing from a sales standpoint. If we do even half of what I just shared there, we're going to be able to make big progress in our sales system. And same thing, if we take the proper approach and make raving fans, we're going to be able to very strategically increase our lifetime value on what a customer is worth to us. And if we do this, all these small, very manageable tweaks, what we've just done here is increase your business by 4x what it was. All right, this is before we even talk about new channels. This is before we even talk about new growth levers. This is before we even go to the next level with new additional products and everything, right? This is what we want you to do, is to see your business, because ultimately your business is a formula and you need to know what that formula is. And then we need to attack it one step at a time. And the approach that we take here at 2X in our one-on-one coaching program is, first, we want to make sure for each step, do we have the proper strategy? Is it simple? Is it clear? Is it targeted? Are we really intentional about what the numbers that we're trying to achieve for each step? Then from there, we're trying to make it very consistent and repeatable and not reliant on you. Again, using the machine elements that I talked about earlier. And then from there, it's like, okay, from here, how do we grow it? How do we improve it? And how do we do so with consistency and control? How do we improve with the predictability? All right. And if we do that, again, you're going to see numbers go up and up and up and up. This is how we've had so many clients around the globe 4x their business, 10x their business, add millions of dollars in revenue in months, right? And over $255 million in counting in our one-on-one coaching programs. And this is the exact methodology that you can follow as well. So this is what will help you do one-on-one, hands-on, in the trenches, guiding you step by step, working you through the decisions, giving you the exact frameworks that you need to make those decisions. So if you are above $250,000 in revenue in your business, if you are a service-based business that could be online or offline, where you are giving a service to people, whether that's a coaching program or you're giving them accounting services or some type of offline service. We are really focused on service-based businesses right now for something specific that I'm going to share with you here in a second. If you feel like you're too stuck in your business is too reliant on you, and that you know that 7 figures is possible, you know that you can reach 7 figures, well, what I'd love to do is to invite you to our next cohort. We are putting together a very special cohort. And the applications for this, you have to have your conversation by, I think it's the 17th. I'll confirm that date here in just one second, but it's a 6 to 7 figures cohort where we are going to guide 6-figure business owners the exact steps, piece by piece, as a group, on how to get to the next level. It's still one-on-one, hands-on in the trenches, but there's some group elements that we're going to make sure that everybody gets there, and everybody gets there very, very fast, to take the methodology that we have and accelerate it at the next level. So if you, again, are this and you want to achieve that multi-7-figure business and do so in the proper way, well, schedule your one-on-one review call right now. It's 2x.co/schedule. They'll put the link in the chat. I can't see it right now if they haven't already, but I highly, highly recommend booking your call right now for this week specifically, so that you can get into this cohort, so we can guide you step by step on breaking through to that 7-figure club. Because what we're going to do on this call, and Pat, you can share here just a little bit more of what this call looks like in just a second, but what we're going to do is break down your business. We can take everything that we talk about here today and really start to understand your business. If we can understand your business, we can start to see what those key gaps and levers are, and the ones that you should focus on, start to map out a specific plan of, hey, if we were you, this is exactly what we would do after working with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of business owners across the globe. What's that proven path that we would do to help save you a ton of time and help obviously break through to the next level? And if you're a good fit and qualified, we're going to discuss the cohort. We're going to discuss exactly how we can support you. We're going to discuss how we can make your life so much easier and break through to the next level. And again, what you want to be thinking about with this is, do you have the tools? Like, are you really set up to succeed and to achieve that vision as fast as possible? And think, are you 7-figure worthy in each one of these steps that we only touched on a small a piece for each one of these, but do you have each piece that's 7-figure worthy? And if not, is there a better way? Is there a shortcut? Well, the resounding answer is absolutely. There is an absolute shortcut. We're going to guide you, hold your hand step by step for giving you what I wish I had starting out years ago when I was grinding and muscling and trying to figure it all out myself. There's a better way. And we want to show you that way with love and compassion and guide you and push you and challenge you, but also give you the tools and the exact strategies that we've proven over and over and over again. So again, if you are looking to break through to multiple millions, let's schedule your call. Let's get you on with Pat this week, 2x.co/schedule, and make sure that you take advantage of that right away because Pat's calendar does fill up, and Pat is an absolute beast to be able to show you, again, a whole new perspective of how to run and grow your business and how things could be much simpler for you. So Pat, you want to talk real quick of what that conversation will look like, some of the value that people will get by having that?
Yeah, for sure. So firstly, for context, I have actually taken 3 businesses from 0 to 7 figures myself. And I know the 2X program inside and out. In fact, I've been through it. So we will dig deep into it. A lot of the stuff we're going to go into is where you're spending your time, the gaps in your team, and a lot of Model 1. Like, what are the opportunities with your Model 1? You're going to have lenses on at the moment. You're going to have the blinkers on going, well, why do you charge $2,000 for your product? Well, because that's what we've always charged. Well, why don't we charge $5,000? What would have to be true for us to charge $5,000? What upsells could? So we're going to break this apart. These are the questions that we're going to be going through and trying to figure out where the big gaps are and the big opportunities are for you to exponentially grow. So remember that an exponential growth curve isn't exponential until it is. So it means that we lay the foundations and we figure out all of that good stuff that we need to get down to give us that hockey stick growth. So we're going to go through all of that. I'm going to answer as many questions as you like. And I'm actually taking these calls personally from this webinar instead of our regular sales guys taking it. So I'm taking these calls personally. So you'll be on the call with me and we will break down the exact methodologies and where the opportunities are for your businesses.
Awesome. Awesome. Love that. Yeah. Schedule with Pat. Again, this is a special time to be able to talk with Pat. I'm my schedule as well, because I always get so much wisdom from it as well. So would love to get into any questions. What's coming up for you? What are you seeing as the biggest gaps? What's the biggest challenges that you're really facing day in and day out in your business right now? What's holding you back from that multi-million-dollar business of what you know is possible? Let's get into a few questions here, guys. You can either unmute yourself or go ahead and type in the chat. Either one of those works really well. Pat, any questions that came up throughout that we should double down on?
Not a lot of questions came up throughout, but my question for everyone is where did your ratings come through for anyone who's happy to share? What was the lowest rating that you had in your board? Was it mindset? Was it model? Sales conversions? Where's the biggest gaps that you see?
I would love to hear that. Don't be shy. This is to support you guys.
Hey man, I'll get the ball rolling.
Yeah, let's go, Neil. Let's go.
So just your thoughts on the marketing aspect. So I'm kind of down tools as a technician, pretty much just trying to scale organically. I'm not in a hurry. I'm happy with organic growth. I'm not interested in trying to fast track things. If that happens, great. If it doesn't, I'm in for the long game. So it's all good. So with the marketing thing, I mean, if I'm getting sort of between 8 and 10x on social media advertising on a small scale, is it just a simple, which to me, I know nothing about social media marketing. I'm pathetic at it. I'm useless at it. All I know is I post something on Facebook and it generally gives me sort of 7 to 10x over a 12-month period on return on investment, which to me I think is good. Is it just a case of, if that works on a small scale, throw more money at it and it will just increase that growth quicker?
Excellent question. Excellent question. This is a really important question, and I'm glad that you asked this, Neil. So the answer is yes, but it's more complex than that. Okay, so imagine, Neil, if you really knew your numbers, which it sounds like you do, and you were super confident in it, and I said, hey, I'm going to give you, or you give me $10, and I'm going to give you $70 back. Like, would you do that exchange? You would be like, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to do that all day long. So the big thing is to know your numbers and to be really, really confident in that. And then if it's profitable in that type of way, scale it up. Now, the thing with advertising forms is like it's not going to like be able to like 100x your spend and expect the 100 like the same exact ROI. So it may diminish over time, but scale it up slowly using the proper systems and keeping that visibility with the numbers. And you're going to just probably see, hey, even if you double or triple it, it's maybe still, you know, a 5x return, but would you do that? Probably, yeah, you know, and it's like, yeah, that's worth it to get a total net much bigger impact. So we always love to do more of what works, but doing more of what works starts with truly understanding the numbers. Now, here's the challenge is a lot of times we come into businesses and we're asking them different questions about their business and the numbers and everything. And that people think that they have a good intuition on them. But what we've actually found, Neil, and a lot of people can maybe resonate with this, is like the numbers are actually wrong with what they expect. So what I would say is really go deeper, make sure that you're really confident about the numbers, and then definitely do more of what works. But here's the real moneymaker. That's not the real moneymaker. The real moneymaker is to look at those people that you get, that 7x return or 8x return, and what they're paying you. Think, how can you have a better experience, better targeting, better service, better positioning, more offers, but like a different product slate to make that customer worth 4 times what they are today, right? If you did that, then without changing anything from your marketing standpoint, you're getting 28 to 32x your return, not just 7 to 8x. Does that make sense? So many people are looking just on the marketing side that we always really see so much opportunity on the LTV side, the client lifetime value side.
Can I add to that just a question
please.
on the back of what you've just asked there, because it may be a similar situation. I mean, I won't bore you with the details, but but my business model is essentially it's home services, so it's a service-based business.
Perfect.
And I've purposefully, so you mentioned there maximizing return on investment through leveraging other, in this instance, other services, other add-on services, upselling and so on. My question back to you on that would be, for my service-based business, I've made a business decision as a business model to keep my business super laser focused on one thing and one thing only, because I know exactly what that one thing does. I know exactly what it can achieve. If I start pushing in other add-on services, my feeling is it's going to dilute specifically what we provide, which is essentially a window cleaning business.
Beautiful. I can jump in here, Neil. So this is absolutely perfect. We used to have a little framework that we talked about every single day, and it was simplify plus strategy plus systems equals scale. So the first step is always to simplify, cut things out that are just like don't matter. And guess how many products we have today at 2X? 1. We have 1 product. You don't need a lot more. But what we're looking at with this is, how do we make sure that they're coming back to us left and right? How do we even potentially make sure, or potentially look at increasing the frequency that they're using you? How can we also make sure that we have such a great experience that they are sending 3 other people to us each? So it's not just the value that they're paying you, it's the value that they're bringing you. And that can come through referrals. So think about it that way. If you just take that perspective, I'm guessing that you can still increase the LTV just with 1 service. And I guarantee you there's an opportunity to get referrals. And if you have this, where you've got this machine, actually, let me pull it up real quick. 1 second, if I can find it. All right, well, I'm just going to show it to you on this chart. All right, so this is where growth begins. This is a really important piece here, is if we can have world-class fulfillment where it's easy to do, we're making raving fans, it's scalable and not reliant on your time, We're making those raving fans. Raving fans stay with you longer. They buy more frequently. They pay you better prices. They haggle you less. They're easier to work with. They're more fun for your team. Again, it's much more scalable, and they're sending referrals your way, which is your best form of new leads. So you're creating this machine that just starts to run itself. And that's something that we really emphasize day in and day out. So you don't need more products and services to bring that back full circle. Does that make sense? Cool. You're sitting on a gold mine. Guys, simple is the answer. Like, you don't need a bunch of new stuff. And guess what? You just asked the marketing questions. We didn't talk about anything about marketing. It's about strategy, and it's about operations execution. It's a mindset shift. And if you do that right, you're going to see, again, there's a lot of juice there for you. A lot of juice.
Great. Just to add one little quick thing onto that is you're always looking for the highest leverage activity. So if you're getting 7 to 8s out of your paid ads now, you can either bolt on to the back of that and go, like, any paid ads that you're running have got low conversions. So you've got money sitting on the table without them. So how do you then go and get everyone that's joined your audience or opted in or done something? How do you now maximize them? Or how do you leverage, instead of going 1-to-1, go one that brings you 10? So what is the highest leverage activity for you to be working on? Which is like, well, instead of spending all this time on paid ads, that's operating. I can go and spend my time getting partnerships, referrals, or being the add-on for someone else, where they go, well, hey, I do window cleaning, you do carpet cleaning, sell my services and I'll give you a clip as well while you're there. And so now you get their whole audience as well. So the strategy, as Austin said, you're coming back to, yeah, I can do paid ads. Paid ads work. Partnerships work, organic works, SEO works, everything works if you do it properly and it's fit into your business with the right strategy. So it's always going, what strategy should I attack? How do I leverage this as high as I possibly can?
Yep. Absolutely. Beautiful. Great question here from Brian. So Brian, absolutely. The question is like, do you have people on your team? Do numbers help kind of guide your business? Is there a way to be more strategic? Can you change your model to be more set up to scale, cash flow, yada, yada? So we can go through every element that every business really encompasses, but we work with, again, mostly service-based businesses because there's more of those moving pieces related to team and operations. You have a lot, excuse me, related to team and operations. So everything, if you could turn everything that you do using systems, using numbers as clarity, having the proper team structure and communication so that there's accountability there, you're going to be able to be much more efficient, get much more predictable results, make much better decisions, and do so faster, and be able to train those VAs. So we have a bunch of VAs on our team as well, and a lot of our clients do as well, this entire methodology and everything that we're talking about here today, outside of the specific marketing strategies, would work really, really well for your business. It's all a mentality shift. It's about turning your business into a machine.
And seeing opportunities that you don't see.
Yeah. And having some accountability there. Like, there's just so much that, again, we try to shortcut the path for business owners to take it to the next level. Cool. Pat, Justin.
Yeah. Justin had a question about how do you maintain motivation day in, day
out? Man, this is a great question. And the big one is it comes back to that first step. Like, if you have a clear and compelling vision that just gets you so fired up, one that you can see and like you can almost taste, like you can definitely feel, then that's going to be like the first piece. Everybody on our team is here for something much bigger than a job. You should have something that's much bigger than just a business. I don't care if you're selling tires, if you're, flipping real estate deeds, if you're, giving coaching service, it doesn't matter. You can make something that really lights you up. Right. And what we want to do is have that. And again, it doesn't have to be always just impact driven. It could be about the team or the challenge or again, some big goal that you have. But we've got to start with that vision. From there, we've got to make sure that we're working on things in the right order here, so that you've got the visibility and we're taking out some of the stress of guessing. We're building the right operations so that, again, our team's set up for success, which is supporting us as well. Like, everything that we're talking about is building an easier business, one that's taking off a lot of the pressure on you. And then you'll find, wow, I actually do love this business. And I am fired up more and more because I'm not stressed out and held back. We've had a lot of clients actually come in. Some have made this transformation in like 24 hours, which I'll tell that story here in a second, of they're like, I hate my business. I want to start something new. And what they don't hate is their business. That's not what they hate. And that's not what's not firing them up. What they hated was how they were spending their time or the stress that it was bringing. So building a healthier business will naturally lead you to have way more energy and a better mindset and everything. In addition to that, one of the biggest things is like, we really are working people through the mindset. We're identifying the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. We're giving you the support. We're giving you the confidence. We're making sure that you've got that backing of not just one person, but a full team behind you. And that's like priceless from a mindset standpoint. Then we're giving you so many of the tools from a productivity standpoint. One of the parts of a great productivity strategy is starting your morning in the proper way, winning the morning, winning the day. And I've got a whole routine that I can talk about here in a second. But if you do those couple things, like Pat always says, like, mindset's such an important thing for sales, like for your sales team. And like the best way to have a good mindset in sales is to learn how to sell better, because it's just like, it makes it easy and fun to do the sales, right? Same thing from a business standpoint. The best way to have a better mindset about your business is A, get clear on what a destination is that's clear and compelling that you want to get to, and then B, build a better business because it takes off so much of the pressure. Pat, anything else to add from a vision standpoint or motivation standpoint?
Yeah, this is something that I struggled with for years because a little personal backstory. My brother has been in the army for 35 or something years now. He's very, very decorated colonel in the army, and I helped one of my first businesses was sales training to help people sell cars. So I'd go with my brother, so proud of him. Like, he does this, he does this, he does this, and I help people sell cars. And it was like, wow, it's very hard to get my purpose and my motivation out of that. And what I learned was that I am not my business. My business is not me. They are two separate entities. Like even the bank and the accountants go, no, they're two separate entities. So it's like, when you separate yourself from the business and understand that this is your business and it may be your purpose. Like with Austin, Austin started 2X to help people. Like this is his purpose and his thing, but it's not Austin. So your business may be, well, this is how I want to drive personal wealth, and this is how I want to get money, because I have to generate money somehow. I have the opportunity to generate freedom here and wealth beyond having a job. So when you can separate that, and if you struggle with going, well, what's my vision? Then you can separate your personal and your purpose vision from your business and say, well, I use this because I need to make money and it needs to support my lifestyle. And then you can find your purpose elsewhere, and that can be a whole different discussion. But if you can have that mindset shift to go, well, the business is the business and there's going to be challenges, and I'm focused on the higher vision, which might be, well, we're going to $10 million, we're going to $2 million, we're going to $1 million, we're going to serve 1,000 people, we're going to help kids do this, we're going to do this, depending on what the vision is of the company. If you stay focused on that, it helps keep you out of the mindset poop sandwich of the day-to-day minutia that's going to happen no matter what. And then if your business is helping people sell cars, then it doesn't have to be you. It's not you. It's not like you don't judge yourself based on that. And then it's like, well, I'm getting up today. These are the 3 things I've got to do, and I'm going to do them, and I'm going to do them well, and I'm going to get a result from it, and I'm going to see progress. And that's great. Now I'm going to go to my purpose. Now I'm going to go spend more time with my family. Now I'm going to go do this. So you don't have to look at this as an isolated thing, as this is I am the business. If you separate that, get clear on this is, Austin, you talk about it all the time with the wheel of life, like my relationships, my mindset, my vision, my purpose, my money, my finances, all of that stuff, and go, well, how am I on the balance here? And am I progressing everything towards where I want to be in 1 year, 2 year, 10 years? Am I being the person I want to be? And then if you take that more 30,000 foot view, that's going to help you get up every day and go, well, today it's not that, oh, I've got to work. It's like, hey, I get to do this today for 3 hours, and then I get to go spend the time with my family.
I love that. So absolute gold there. And what all that leads to, and everything that we've been talking about here today, and literally what we end the book with, something called a momentum train, is like, things are so much easier and more fun and everything when you have momentum, right? So like, that's what we're talking about, is how to get that momentum, because that's when things are flowing. That's when things are priceless. It's when your team is feeling that as well. And we don't want to oversell it, but every decision matters to make sure that you are driving that momentum. So that's what the momentum train is about. So great ad there, Pat. Next question comes from Sam on hiring people, is what are the methods to attract A+ players? Well, actually, Sam, guess what? It's all related. Everything that we're talking about here, we just talked about the vision. Well, that's the first step to make sure that you've got a world-class team as well, that you can go and hire a world-class team, is with a vision. Again, every single person here at 2X is here, not because of me, not because of Pat, not because of anything. They're here because of the vision. And here's the thing, everybody has their own individual vision. So what we want to understand is, what is that vision? Now I challenge you to ask, do you know what your team's vision is? Like, in each individual, do you know it, each individual person, like what they see for success, like what they want, what's happiness for them, what's success for them? So what we want to do is understand that. And we have this company vision, and we're looking at finding the people that have a vision, that this company vision, like where they line up, where we call it the vision crossover, and it's broken down in the book. So if we can understand, if we can have a clear and compelling vision and find people that are aligned with that and have something that's again, going to be able to cross with that, that's the people that you want. But people, A+ players, they're not looking for a job. They're not looking for something to do. They probably are already in an opportunity. They probably have a lot of options available to them. So what are you going to do? How are you going to position things? How are you going to make something that's so compelling that they would leave that to go and work for less at your company? That's the way that you want to think about it. It starts with the vision. Then from there, there's a lot of tactical things, Sam, such as, again, going out and finding those people, not just like putting a job ad out and like hoping they come to you. No, we got to go out and find them. Like, treat it as your most important sales and marketing, because it is, right? The right people will change the game for you. And as soon as you start to do this, you've got a really like a compelling vision that it's much bigger than just a job. And you're going out and you're communicating things, and you've got the proper positioning, then you're going to start to attract the right people. And if you can start to then create a culture of a couple people, well, this is then something that people want to be a part of. Again, they want to win. A players want to win. They want to be a part of something. They want to have autonomy. They want to drive results. They want to, X, Y, and Z. We got to figure out what those are and reverse engineer that. And that's again what you can do. Pat, anything else to add on the building a world-class team and hiring those A+ players?
A good two really important things that I find, because I take my biggest pride with the team. Like my purpose is building a team. That's I like seeing other people on the team progress. That's my purpose. Two things. One, run a Model 1 exercise on your team. So start with, who is the person I want? What is their role going to be? So instead of, am I selling the right people, the right product, the right price, with the right positioning in a way that can scale? It's like, am I attracting the right person with the right role and the right thing at the right price? Is it positioned to them as something they want? And have they got a room to progress? So run a Model 1 on that. Now, the advantage that you have here is that majority of business owners in that early 6 figures is already doing the role that they want to hire for. So you know the good bits and the bad bits. So be honest about it. And then when you talk to people and go, if someone's already done this role, like sales, I can say to people, guess what? You know how you hate filling in the CRM and taking notes and doing this and updating the sales log and all that? I've got a sales admin person who does all that for you. All you have to do is take your notes from the call, take a photo and send it to Tina, and she'll do the rest. And they're like, I've been blessed by an angel. This is the job I've been looking for. Something as simple as having the right systems to support people that you can talk to them about when you're interviewing them will make all the difference, because then they're like, this guy cares. This guy understands me. It's the exact same thing as sales and marketing. So run that exercise. Understand who you're trying to attract, the good parts of the job and the bad parts of the job. And then what do you need to do to make it easier to attract them? Because it's not just money. It's not like, well, we're paying $15 an hour and everyone else is paying $13 an hour. That's not a great business decision for you. But bringing people in and supporting them with better systems so they stay longer and they can be more effective in their job, that's a great business decision for you. And they're going to stay longer and they're going to love you. So figure out who you want, figure out what their pain points are, and how can you support that better up front with systems and numbers and team, as opposed to trying to throw money at it and doing that sort of thing.
Yep. Absolutely. It's huge. And then in addition to that, Jenny, the part of your question was my lowest rating was firing myself. I'm struggling to find people. I desperately want out of the weeds, but struggle to find rock stars. So a couple things related to that is like, before we look at the people, before we look at hiring, like what we're always looking at is where is our time and energy and attention going that isn't really driving true results. So if we always come into a business and we're identifying anything between 20 and 40% that we can just cut out or push off to a later date. So we want to free up capacity by only working on things that are really going to move the needle. And what we realize, again, there's probably even much more than 40% that we could cut out that aren't the 80-20. But that's the first thing, is cut out and simplify. Second is with the team that you do have and with our own time, as we're doing the work, as we're already doing the work, we should be creating systems. And systems are going to help make things easier, more efficient so that we can handle more. And the next piece then is there's a very strategic order, just like with most things, of the general approach that we take with getting somebody free. So if you don't have a world-class assistant, then we've really got to start there. And make sure that we've got the proper systems in place from that standpoint. Then it's usually some type of ops manager. Then it's usually some type of sales role. So there's usually a very a specific order that people can approach things. But without adding anybody new, again, my point is you can free up a lot of time and capacity with the existing resources and team that you have, using systems and other things that we're talking about here. Cool. Excellent. All right, we've got a couple more minutes here. And again, we're super excited to have that cohort. So hopefully a couple of you guys will be involved in that. We're going to have some extra attention there, again, to make sure that you get to that 7-figure mark. And I'm really excited for that, and to take everything that we talked about and go about 5 layers deeper. And again, most importantly, work with you intimately one-on-one in our coaching program with our coaches. So we got a couple more questions here that we can go ahead and answer. What's the biggest challenge? What's the biggest area that's standing out to you? Any other examples that have kind of been on your mind that we can kind of talk through some different examples with?
Justin, anything off the top of your head that stands out as a big pain point?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, cool. All right, guys, well, if that's it, couple things. Number one, make sure that you schedule your time with Pat. That's 2x.co/schedule. Again, limited time offer here to get on with Pat. As you can tell, Pat's just a world-class guy. And what we want to take is like this holistic view of your life. It's not just like, here's a marketing strategy. No, it's like, how does this all fit into what you really want? So that's the approach that we're going to take with you. We're going to take the approach with you to set you up for years to come. Again, we don't want just the short-term results. And so schedule that time. And next is make sure that you get your copy of the book. I'm really excited to get your feedback on it. Again, it's a pretty meaty book. There's a lot inside that will break down again, in more detail, some of what we talked about. So I'm super excited to get this into the hands of thousands of business owners all across the globe. So if you know anybody that you think could value from this information, we're shipping it out for free here in the US, and we're giving digital copies and audio copies away for people outside of the US. So if you know anybody, email me. You got obviously my email. We'll get you connected. We'll get you a link. Share that link to accept.co/waitlist. Share this around. That's what we really want, and that's a success for us, is to be able to do that. So thank you so much. Appreciate you all. Thank you, Pat, for supporting here as well. And guys, go and implement this stuff. Don't go back into the day-to-day. There's a better, simpler way. And hopefully you've seen some of that here today, and really appreciative of all you guys. All right. Appreciate you very much. And we'll talk to you very soon. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.